Today's featured artifact from the Kentucky Historical Society tells the tragic story of a soldier from the Civil War whose musical talents had a major impact on the battlefield and on the weather. Doug High has the story.
Can a musical instrument be haunted? The Kentucky Historical Society will lay out the facts, and you will have to decide for yourself.
Our staff around here has several different artifacts that we think have interesting stories that might be haunted or cursed or just have a tragic story associated with them, and that is definitely true of this cornet. So Joseph Dudley and the 16th Kentucky Volunteer Infantry are headed down to Atlanta for what will become the Battle of Atlanta, and the group is sleeping the night in the field, and it's about a week before that battle will happen. And Joseph and another man are sleeping in the tent when a horrible thunderstorm rolls through, and a tree falls over the tent and instantly kills Dudley in the tent. The cornet that he was famed for playing survived, but to this day, when the cornet is played, apparently a thunderstorm rolls through.
Of course, no one at the Kentucky Historical Society has put the haunted cornet to the test, but the legend does make for an interesting twist on a tragic Civil War story.
It's a story of an everyday person. Tragedy happens to all of us in different ways, and Joseph Dudley's story is unfortunate. But the artifact tells his story and allows us to tell the story of other soldiers that served in his infantry, and allows us to tell a greater story of the Civil War itself.
To learn more about the haunted coronet at the Kentucky Historical Society, visit our online archives at History.KY.gov. From the Kentucky History Center and museums in downtown Frankfort, I'm Doug High.